The boy woke up before dawn every single day. Not because he loved mornings, but because poverty never allowed him to sleep peacefully. The small room where he lived barely had space to breathe. The walls were cracked, the roof leaked during the rainy season, and the old fan above made more noise than air. Yet this broken room was everything he had. His name was Ahmed. He was only 16 years old, but life had already aged him far beyond his years. His father had passed away when Ahmed was very young, leaving behind silence, debt, and responsibility. From that day on, Ahmed became the man of the house, not by choice, but by necessity. He shared the room with his mother and his younger sister. Every morning, he woke up quietly so they could sleep a little longer. He washed his face at the public tap outside, offered his morning prayer, picked up his worn-out bag, and stepped into the narrow streets of the city. The streets were still half asleep. Shop shutters were down. A few stray dogs searched for food. The air was cold, but Ahmed's thoughts were heavy. Still, there was something different about him. He never complained. Ahmed worked at a vegetable market. It was a rough place, noisy, crowded, and unforgiving. Trucks arrived before sunrise, loaded with sacks heavier than Ahmed himself. He carried vegetables, cleaned the floors, fetched water for shopkeepers, and did whatever work was given to him. For all that labor, he earned just enough to buy food for the day. But Ahmed was not just a hard-working boy. He was a kind one. One morning, he saw an old man struggling to lift a heavy sack. People laughed. Some looked away. Ahmed immediately dropped his own work, ran toward the old man, and lifted the sack onto his shoulder. "Please sit down, uncle," Ahmed said gently. "I'll take care of it." The old man stared at him, surprised. His eyes filled with tears. "May God bless you, my son," he whispered. Ahmed smiled and walked away, as if he had done nothing special. At home, his mother often worried about him. "You help everyone," she said softly. "But who will help you?" Ahmed replied with a calm smile. "God sees everything, Ami. And one day, good will come back." Ahmed also went to school. It was a government school with broken benches, old books, and crowded classrooms. Many students dropped out because they had to work. Teachers came and went, but Ahmed stayed. He sat quietly in the last row, listening carefully, writing notes in a half-torn notebook. At night, after a long day of labor, he studied under a dim bulb while his sister slept beside him. His dream was simple. He wanted to become a teacher. Not to earn money, not to gain respect, but to help children like himself, children who were poor but full of dreams. One evening, while returning from the market, Ahmed saw a young boy sitting near a drain, crying. His clothes were dirty, his feet bare. "What happened?" Ahmed asked. "I'm hungry," the boy said. "My mother is sick. We haven't eaten." Ahmed checked his pocket. That day's earnings were already small. Still, without hesitation, he handed the boy half of his money and gave him the bread he had saved for dinner. That night, Ahmed slept hungry. But his heart was full. Life, however, is not always kind to kind people. One afternoon, a wealthy shopkeeper at the market accused Ahmed of stealing money. No proof, no witnesses, just an accusation. People believed the shopkeeper, because he was rich, and Ahmed was poor. Ahmed was taken to the police station. He sat there silently, his hands shaking. Tears filled his eyes, but he did not beg. His mother arrived, crying, pleading for her son. "My boy is not a thief," she said. "He would never steal." Just then, a familiar voice spoke. "This boy is innocent." It was the old man whose sack Ahmed had once carried. Behind him were others, a woman Ahmed had helped, a child he had fed, neighbors he had supported. They all spoke for him. The truth came out. The shopkeeper was ashamed. Ahmed was released. That day, Ahmed learned something important. Good deeds may be forgotten by people, but they are never forgotten by life. Months later, a local charity visited the market. They had heard about Ahmed, his honesty, his kindness, his struggle. They offered to support his education. For the first time, Ahmed allowed himself to hope. Years passed. Ahmed studied hard. He worked part-time, helped his family, and never stopped being kind. Eventually, he became what he had always dreamed of becoming: a teacher. On his first day at school, he stood in front of a classroom full of children. Some were poor, some were scared, some looked just like he once had. He smiled and said, "Never think you are small. Your actions decide your worth, not your situation." Ahmed never became rich, but he became something greater. He became a good human being. And sometimes, that is the greatest success of all.